I think we've already established that actually the UK is not going to be feeling the effects of this heat wave at all. I mean, here in the UK, the weather's looking quite unsettled, isn't it, over the next few days?
Yeah, it's absolutely right. There's a barrier in the way. It's called the jet stream, and the differential between the jet stream, which is flowing across us and bringing frontal systems, showers, and the heat dome that's essentially across North Africa and Southern Europe. Those two things are like two heavyweight wrestlers not wanting to give way, if that makes sense. In other words, both stick around. They don't want to give ground, and essentially that's the battle that we've got coming in this next fortnight. Things are going to more or less stay in the same position until we get to the end of July. All I would say on that is possibly, quite possibly, we're going to see some higher temperatures in southeast England in particular as we go towards the end of July. So we might start to see the 25s and 26s back, but not 40s.
Of course, we've got the schools breaking up, many people trying to head off on holiday and maybe heading to the Med. Does this heat dome sticking there mean that it's going to be more like a pressure cooker and the temperatures will just keep on climbing?
Yeah, it's a good point. High pressure, essentially, subsiding air pushes the air downwards towards the earth where it's making hot, and it's just a sort of feeds off itself. And that in itself creates this block, and obviously not just in North Africa and Southern Europe, but also in Southwest United States and also across Asia, China, these sort of places. So we've got three heat domes not wanting to push much. Yes, there'll be a little bit of ebbing and flowing. That will be the case. But I'm looking at charts here that basically, yes, everything remains as it is, more or less, for a little bit more. I mean, at the end of July, going to August, these are per se, but it's the ingredient of climate change.
Jim, we're just getting a bit of interference on the signal from you on the line. We'll try and stay with it and see if we can improve that. But the other issue I just wanted to talk to you about, we've been covering the wildfires, particularly as well in Greece, and it seems that they've had these really strong winds that have been whipping up a lot of the flames as well.
Yeah, often Greece is a place. I've never gone on holiday down there. Can't quite remember the name of the word, Eastian or something of that nature. But the wind that comes out of the east there across Turkey into Greece often is quite strong. And with sea breezes attaching to it, yeah, you can get 20, 30 miles an hour. This is the killer when you get wildfires and then the wind associated. Wildfires on their own probably wouldn't go too far too quickly. It's the combination of dry conditions, extremely dry conditions, hot conditions, and then the wind. And the wind is the big thing that moves these things along. We've seen pictures and videos from the past where these things have just careered actually faster than a person can run. Yeah. So if you think you're in one of these, you're going to run away from it, you ain't very quickly with 30-mile-an-hour winds.
So, Jim, if people haven't yet booked their holiday getaway, but they're hoping to do something last minute, like I usually do, they don't want to stay here because the weather's looking unsettled. They don't want to go to Southern Europe because it's too blinking hot. Where could they go? Where would you suggest would be, fairly safe, particularly for older people?
Okay, so I hear what you're saying, and actually today is a nice day in the UK for the most part. I know there's been a few showers around. I'd be sticking, but I realise people want to get away sometimes. Yes, Saturday isn't going to look great. So where do you go? You go in that middle line, if you like. So you're going to the very near continent, a little bit further, northern France. Maybe across to Germany, these sort of places. That's kind of where I would be going, rather than into Southern Europe and the Mediterranean. And nowhere in the Mediterranean is avoiding the big heat. And you've got to watch your back as far as even those southern parts of Europe, southern France, the Alps to a certain degree as well. But there are places you can go. Altitude always helps.